All right, what's going on, y'all? You know, there's a lot of things that's going on in the world, and you know my thing. My thing has always been reverse engineering. You can reverse engineer any situation, any problem, anything, and discover where the problem actually initially occurred. Deal with that problem right there at that point and move forward and erase all of the chaos and mayhem that problem caused as you went through life, as you go through life, I should say. But one of the things that we're going to be talking about today, based on what's going on, is this term called end of days. Now, a lot of people when they when they see this term, they think about the end of the world. That's not what this is really about. This is about an end of a period, a time period. And this time period is dealing with the opposition to God. All those that oppose God and God's way and how God does things and God's laws, God's rules, God's commandments, everyone that opposes that, this is the end of those days. Now, as we go on, I'm going to share with you that the end of these days is not about opposition, but that opposition, we've termed it evil. The end of evil, the end of wrong, the end of everything that's not right. That's what we are in right now. That's the time that we are in, where all of those things are ending now. In the Bible, they call it revelations, where things are coming to an end. But the end of evil is you can only really look at or determine what evil is by putting good up next to it. So not only are we in the end of days, but we haven't gotten there yet, because the phase that we're really in exactly right now is what's on the screen: separation. The wheat is being separated from the chair. So you know that's done during harvest season. So now the wheat is being separated from the chair, which means the good is being separated from the bad. And in another lecture that I had gave before, you all remember when I put the picture up of what tares look like? Tares look just like wheat. So that means evil, wrong people look just like good, righteous people. They look just the same. But you never can tell the difference between the two until harvest season comes. Because when harvest season comes, then the wheat has a certain look about it and a way that it presents itself. And the tare does as well. It begins to start looking different. It can't hide among the wheat anymore, because it begins to show its true colors and expose itself for what it really is, terror. That's the time frame that we're in today, brothers and sisters, the time of separation. I wrote a song in the first lyric, a rap song, about 10 years ago. And the opening lyrics of that song, of that rap song, is separation has begun. Can you see your only son on the streets, perpetrating, debating which way is heaven stating man should be? So this separation thing has been into play for a pretty long time, but it's coming to a head now. Good versus evil. If you remove the good, the O out of good, you got God and evil. The separation between all of God's people from all of Satan's people. There has to be a separation. Now let's really look at it though. What is evil? We all consider it to be we've seen all the Damien movies, all the movies dealing with the occult, the Omen, all of that stuff, where it shows a lot of perverted, sick-minded, murderous type of mentality. But the bottom line really to evil, what is evil? Opposition to God. That's it. It's plain and simple. I ain't got to eat no birds' heads or cut no head off no chicken and spray no chicken blood over no altar and sing songs of Satan in order to be evil. All I got to do is go against God. That makes me evil automatically. Now, a lot of people don't want to accept that. That's your opinion, brother man. So yeah, but you know what? I'm the expert here. I'm the expert because I'm a minister and I've studied this and I know what I'm talking about. So if you when in an accident, you hired an investigator, a private investigator to investigate the accident, you would rely on that person's report that they give you because they are a professional. This is what they do. And I'm telling you, this is what I do. It's not the only thing that I do, but this is what I do. I know this. I know I've been studying this for over 30 years. And I know what I'm talking about. And I wouldn't, if I didn't know what I was talking about, believe me, my lips would be sealed because I never want to say anything that makes me look stupid or make me look like I don't know what I'm talking about. When you oppose God, you automatically bat for the side of evil. Automatically. Now let's go to where this whole thing really began. This whole thing that we are dealing with, all the way up to today, how we're dealing with COVID-19 and all of that, all of it starts right here. Right here on your screen. You're looking at it right there where everything started. It started with a war that took place in heaven. You don't hear too many preachers talking about this. At least I don't. I'm not saying that they don't, but you don't hear too many preachers talking about the war that took place in heaven. And if they do, God bless them. But this war was very important to what went on in human history after it. Because now you got to keep in mind, this war that took place in heaven took place before Genesis. This was before a Bible. This was before a Quran. So this predates in the beginning, this war that took place in heaven. Now, for those who may not know, the common childhood story that I told when we were little is that Satan and a group of the angels went against God. They fought, lost, and Lucifer and all of those that fought with him were cast out of heaven. Now, That's kind of where the story stops. They never really tell you that Lucifer and the third of the angels that were cast out with him were cast to the earth. They were cast out of heaven, but they were cast to the earth. And while on the earth, Lucifer, well, once he was cast out of earth and he fell, his name changed from Lucifer to Satan. And Satan was given 6,000 years, y'all, to rule the earth. This is not discussed. Nobody talks about this. If Satan was allowed to rule over the earth for 6,000 years, it explains everything. We aren't taught this because we don't want to see. Because if Satan has been ruling this world for over 6,000 years, and we look at the condition of the planet Earth and the people on the earth and the systems that are being implemented in this earth, we can see that this is not a very godly planet. There may be some people on the planet that believe in God and try to do right and things of that nature, but the majority and the masses of the people, the humanity of the planet Earth are not. Look, let's get an understanding here. Heaven is this place in the sky that we are taught that we go to when we die. You can look at the little picture that I have here on the screen. It's very angelic. You know, nobody has ever came back to tell us whether it exists or not, but we were taught it and we believe it. But now, let me ask you this question though. If Satan was given rule over the planet Earth, then is it not he and those that are with him that have been teaching us this concept of heaven and earth? Now, if it is Satan, and I believe it is, because he has been given 6,000 years to rule. If Satan is still ruling, that means the concept of heaven that we have been taught by Satan is not the true interpretation, because Satan would not want to give you anything that leads you back to God. He would want to mislead you. And we've heard this I've heard preachers teach this, that Satan mixes a little bit of truth inside of his lies. He's the master, he's the architect of lies, but he always mixes a little bit of truth inside of the lies, right? So if this is not really the true interpretation that we are receiving of heaven and earth, then it's real clear why we don't understand certain things about Bible scripture. We read these things, and the interpretation that we get about heaven and earth, you know, we think, because we believe that you go someplace in the sky when you die and meet your loved ones, that you're following the precepts of God. But this is not God.